US President Donald Trump imposing an additional 50% tariffs on a wide range of imports from Canada in response to what his administration has called discriminatory treatment of American-made cars, alcohol and dairy goods. The new tariffs, set to take effect in 30 days, are threatening a new front in the global trade war, affecting nearly $20 billion of Canadian imports. This is the latest flashpoint in already strained ties as two countries renegotiate the USMCA trade pact signed during President Trump's first term in office. Jagruti Dave reporting the story for CNN. She joins us live from Washington, D.C. Jagruti, tensions over tariffs never actually gone away, despite the fact that we have moved on, certainly on headlines. The U.S. deciding again to impose tariffs on Canada. What does this mean for other countries still engaged in tariff negotiations with the United States?
Yeah, so if we look at why the president has decided to slap these tariffs on Canada, one of the things the US administration, who's speaking anonymously to US media, is saying is that Canada was one of the only countries other than China to hit back following Trump's previous tariffs. And that needs to be punished, essentially, is what they're saying. He's launched these new tariffs under Section 338 of the 1930 Trade Act. And this essentially allows the US to impose tariffs on countries that it says discriminate uniquely against the US. This was written during the Great Depression. And what this means, I think, for other countries who are going to be watching this is how the negotiations with Canada play out. Some experts are saying that this is done by the Trump administration to give them leverage in the upcoming USMCA negotiations. As you mentioned, the president's been asking for changes to those since he signed them in 2018. He's talking to Mexico with a third round of talks, but the US hasn't actually even started discussions with Canada. That's the extent of the tensions between the two sides. And the US has also launched a number of investigations into several countries, because if you remember, the Supreme Court slapped down those previous reciprocal tariffs that the US had imposed. And so the US has been looking at different ways in which to impose tariffs on countries. So some of those countries like the EU, China, Indonesia, Malaysia, Japan, they are all looking to see the outcome of those investigations and then what it means for them, because the FT is reporting there's potentially new tariffs on dozens of countries as soon as this week. So they'll also be wanting to see if these new tariffs that the president has imposed on Canada get struck down by the courts, which is where it's likely to be heading, according to legal experts.
Canada, 1.5 years of Trump 2.0 is not unaccustomed to what Mr. Trump might do. How has it responded so far?
Yeah, Mark Carney's issued a statement saying that Canada's offered suggestions to update the USMCA over the last 18 months and is ready to intensify those discussions. He's also called these latest tariffs one of several US actions that are in direct violation of the USMCA. And he said that Canada's reciprocal action merely matched those measures imposed by the US, which he said is Canada's right. And he's also saying this trade dispute between the US and Canada has raised costs for families, particularly in the US. And he says that Mr. Carney says Canada stands ready to engage intensively to address outstanding issues.
Thanks. Jagruti Dave covering this story for CNN live from Washington, D.C.